Welcome to episode 82 of the Ben Briggs podcast. I am Ben Briggs. It's Saturday, people. Saturday, the 15th of February, 2020. We're back on track. It may not be out until Sunday, but we are back on track, people. It is late here at Briggs Towers, but we're trying to get it out. It's going to be out on Sunday. So we are getting back in the swing of things, people. I hope you had a nice Valentine's Day. Got your loved one something, did you? You get some chocolates and flowers? Yeah. Because society says you have to on a certain day of the year. Is that it? You all loved up, are you? I don't know. Being not in a relationship at the moment, I find Valentine's like really depressing and shit, and fucking hell, all that shit yesterday. Jesus. Social media awash with roses or red, violets or blue bollocks that people are coming out with because they think somehow it'll enhance them to somebody somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. It's all a bit of a... I used to quite enjoy Valentine's Day. It's quite nice, unconventional in the sense that never really used to go out on Valentine's Day. It's never been a massive thing. You get them a card, you get some flowers, you get some chocolates or something like that, don't you? You get your loved one something just to show that there's some sort of feeling in your heart somewhere for them. I don't know, people. But I hope you had a nice day. Anyway, see a few people getting engaged and shit like that on Valentine's Day. Woo, baby. I know. That's the thing to do these days, isn't it? You've got to get married and shit. You've got to settle down. I don't know, man. I missed that boat. I've missed that boat. I'm 43 now. 43. Turning 43 in New York when I was over there. And getting a bit contemplative about my life, people. Where I'm going, what I'm doing, things I'm seeing, people I'm talking to. I don't know. I was trying to be philosophical there, people, for a moment, and it just doesn't quite cut it, really, does it? I don't know. Yeah, Valentine's Day. I don't really know about the history of Valentine's Day. All I know is that you have to buy cards, you have to buy a present or something, because on that day, it's the day of love, people, isn't it? Let's have a bit of tea, hang on. I'm on black tea at the minute as well. Oh, it's fucking rank because I haven't been able to leave the house because I've been struggling walking a little bit. Although Monday I've got to pop down and meet my new consultant who's this is the third one, I think. My new consultant who's now going to do my surgery. Nobody wants to operate on me, people. I don't know why that is. It keeps changing all the time. And, and hopefully, I can get rid of this fucking hernia, hopefully in a couple of weeks and get everything sorted out, and then be back to my best. That's it, people. I've had to cancel, gigs this weekend because I can't get out of the house, which is a bit shit, but, I should, hopefully the promoters were okay with it. You never know, man. They all say, yeah, that's fine, and then never fucking contact you again. So hopefully that's okay. There's been a furore of things going on in the news at the moment, particularly in the UK. All celebrities are on suicide watch now. Let's have a look. Let's have a bit more tea before we start this bit. Woo, baby. Yeah, TV presenter Caroline Flack has topped herself, and basically everybody's blaming the media for it. Now, not to make light of suicide, obviously, some people posting ridiculous stuff up though on Facebook and Twitter. One person, suicide's always a tragedy. It's always a tragedy. That's it. It's not always a tragedy, people. I'm not saying it wasn't a tragedy in this case. You've got to cover your ass, right? I know this is my podcast. I'm sitting in Briggs Towers and I can say what I fucking like, but you've still got to cover your ass a little bit, haven't you? It's not always a tragedy, suicide. Let's just get that out the way. Nothing is ever black and white. And I'm not saying it's a tragedy in this case. Basically, the situation behind this, people of the world, if you're not aware of who Caroline Flack is, there's a program on ITV. I've never watched it in my life, called Love Island, but I'm aware of it because it's like a dating show where they get people on an island and start dating and try and get them together as couples so they can sort of like finger each other under a blanket, and it makes good TV. I think that's the basic premise of the show. They're very, very good-looking people, these people, by the way. They're not people who are just random troglodytes they drag off the street or from a housing estate or, you know, some fucking upper-class cunt with a fucking overbite of about 6 inches. They're model-type people who they throw together on this island, ply with alcohol, and then just sit back and see what bits they can put out on TV legally to entertain the masses of this country. But apparently it's a very popular program. Now, this Caroline Flack woman, she used to be the presenter of this program until she smacked her boyfriend around with a lamp. Now, allegedly, I don't know. That's what it was. That is the circumstances. She had a domestic with her boyfriend, apparently, hit him with a lamp, which, if anything, he should have fucking seen that coming. It would have got very, very light, very, very quickly, right in his face. Maybe he was dazzled by it. Maybe it threw him off. I don't know. I don't know whether this was a regular thing, whether, you know, she was, she started off hitting people with small torches and worked her way up to a lamp. But apparently, she hit somebody with a lamp like that, which he must have been quite close to a plug socket, I imagine, or that would have come out. I don't know. Anyway, he got hit by Caroline Flack, and she lost her job with ITV over this instantly, not even been to court yet. You just lose your job. That's it. That's our cancel culture, people. Everyone's to blame for this. And then the press apparently have been hounding her, and then it was all too much, and she killed herself. So it's quite it's not a great thing, somebody committing suicide over something like that, but people have got their own reasons for doing things. Now, I have limited experience of suicide. I have not myself, obviously, or I'm still here. People out there going, just do it, Ben. Just do it. End it. The podcast ratings are going down, Ben. As soon as I hit rock bottom on the podcast charts, that could be it. That could be pushing me too far. That could be my lampshade moment. But anyway, yeah, she killed herself today. So it's still a bit raw. People on social media, obviously. Here's the thing about it, right? The thing that people are blaming the papers, like for hounding her and blaming everything like that, like for it. Here's the thing. This is the result of the cancel fucking culture that we live in today. As soon as somebody does something wrong, like I said before, it's not black and white. There's grey areas. People, as soon as somebody does something wrong now, they just get fucking hounded for it, and people love it. And as much as we say it's a shame that these sort of things happen, people love that shit. People love the hounding of people until it goes too far. They can't take it. They kill themselves. And then suddenly they're held up as some sort of martyr to the cause. And everybody uses it either one way, taking them down, or one way, getting sympathy. They use it for their own fucking cause. Maybe I'm doing that a little bit now. I don't know. But at least I've got the self-awareness to know that it's out there. Yeah, I've experienced, before anybody goes, oh, fucking hell, you got no experience. Yeah, I have. Like, I've known 4 people in my life who have topped themselves. All men, by the way. No ladies. After about 3 people who, killing themselves, you start to get a bit paranoid. I ain't gonna lie to you. One of them was a family member who had cancer and topped themselves by gassing themselves in their own car. That was when I was about 18, I think. One of them was a stepdad. That was a weird one as well. Sorry to talk about suicide, but I thought I'd just explain my point of view, where I'm coming from. One of them was the stepdad of a friend who, oddly enough, booked into a hotel by the sea, went shopping at Next, bought a load of fucking clothes, and then hung himself in his hotel room. I don't believe he was wearing the new clothes either. I think they were still bagged up. So maybe, sometimes you don't look good in nothing, baby, but you don't need to take it that far. Another person did it in a pub. Hung themselves off the back of a door in a pub that was fucking horrendous. Whilst the pub was still open, just went into the toilet and fucking did it. That was fucking horrendous. He was quite a nice guy as well, to be fair to him. I don't know what had happened there. I don't know the root cause of that. I believe he'd tried it before. And then one of them was my best mate who did it, I don't know, it must be fucking 10 years ago or something like that, I think, which was brutal. Yeah, really, really brutal. That was. I think he'd text me the night he'd done it as well. Not the night he'd done it, not afterwards. Just send this one last text and then just start rocking on the stool. But he hung himself as well. Like, basically, 3 of them had hung themselves, and one of them had gassed themselves in his car, which was quite a close family member. And, yeah, the guy who... not to make light of all this, by the way, because it's pretty fucking horrendous. For anybody, that's the thing about suicide. It's for anyone who's left behind, it's fucking horrendous. The pain might stop for the people who commit suicide, like there and then. But you're just sort of like transferring that pain over to somebody else. Aren't you? Your pain that you're feeling at that moment, you're just transferring that over to your family. But obviously you don't see that at the time. I don't know. I've never interviewed anybody who's ever committed suicide and succeeded. So I don't really know the mindset of that. I mean, we all have low days and bad days and shit like that, don't we? But I don't understand the mindset of doing that. My mate who did it, yeah, he texted me, I think, something... yeah, we enjoyed the film Green Street, and I think there was a film, it was around about the time Green Street 2 came out, it must have been, because he said about it being on TV, and I was like, it'll be fucking shit, it'll be a shit remake, that's just like a one-off film, and because that did well, it had Elijah Wood in it, the geezer out of, like, fucking... whatever, the motorbike thing, what is it? I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, he's in it anyway, and he's the one who gets beaten to death at the end. And I said, it'd be shit, it'd be a fucking remake or whatever, like, I'm not going to bother watching it, and then didn't hear back, and then, boom! I didn't mean to ruin his night for him, but apparently, like, people do weird shit, though, don't they? Like, the guy who bought all the clothes and shit like that and did that. My mate had fucking cooked himself dinner and left dinner on the side and then thought, nah, fuck it. Can't be eating another dinner again. I'll have to string myself up on the stairs. Yeah, so that was pretty brutal. And I understand that mindset of, like, people, and it's horrible for the family, and people are shocked because, obviously, people are, But sometimes, I don't know, it just seems... Here's the thing about blaming people blaming the newspapers and blaming like the trolls on social media and stuff like that. The newspapers, yeah, they're fucking horrendous. And I've seen petitions started about like they're bringing in Caroline's Law and stuff. I imagine that's not started by a family. This is people who have taken it on themselves now to use this person's death to further their own means and what they want. And everybody seems to be turning it around on themselves. And I know I've just like said, my hypocrisy has no bounds, by the way, as you probably know by now. As you probably fucking know by now. And I know I've just brought all that up. But I felt the need to. A little bit, so people don't point a finger and say, well, you got no fucking experience of it or whatever. I personally haven't. Like, I've never thought like that. I've never tried anything like that. You have your down days, you have your bad days or whatever. But I don't know. You just trudge, you just put your head down and just, it's like going into a blizzard sometimes, isn't it? Like you're having shit thrown at you and you just put your head down. You fucking tuck your arms in, you know, pull your hood over like that and just try and get it and, you know, keep walking through to the sunshine some days. Not that I have any diagnosed mental illnesses or mental health issues or anything. And people probably listening to this think, well, I'm not too sure about that, Ben. I'm not too sure about that at all. So, yeah, but you just try and put your head down a little bit, don't you, and get through it. Now, some people don't obviously work that way. You know, it doesn't make them any lesser of people or anything like that. Maybe people are a little bit more sensitive to things. But I've seen, like, petitions rising up, like, you know, try and get the media, like, and get a law so the media can't bully people or can't harass people. You know how you do that, people? You know how you get them from putting those fucking stories on the fucking front page and phone tapping people and fucking selling those stories and photographers outside people's houses and relentlessly pursuing people. You don't buy the fucking papers. That's what you don't do. That's all you need to do. They're a fucking business. Just all of the red tops, all of the tabloids, all of those shitty fucking tit-for-tat, tittle-tattle fucking telling tales on fucking people. That's not fucking news. If you want news, and you purely want news, and that's all you want, go on the BBC website. That's it. That will tell you what is happening in the world and give you an update if that's all you want, the fucking news. But the thing about us that we need to actually express in all of this is hold up a mirror to society. People like that shit. There's no two ways about it. People like the fucking celebrity gossip. That's why it's there. If people didn't like it and didn't buy it, they wouldn't fucking print it. So it's not just that fucking shit, like about what the papers are printing and what they're doing. That feeds our fucking desire to find out that sort of shit. And that's what nobody's saying about shit today. I don't know, man. But it's not, you know, obviously it's quite a sad thing. I saw her described, like, I was talking to somebody about this earlier. I saw her described, she was only young. She was 40, you know. She was 40 years old. That's not that young. It's a bit of a shame for a family and anybody who gets to the stage, you know. It's not always a tragedy, you know. It's just the blanket statements people make sometimes where it's like, it's black or white and there's no grey area. All suicide is a tragedy. Hitler committed suicide. Fucking people who have done horrendous shit in the world. I'm not sure there was many Jewish people thinking Hitler committing suicide was a fucking tragedy. People do it to run away. It's either run away because they can't cope with life. People just can't cope with life. You know, and it's a sad thing that those people need help, and maybe those people did get hounded, but some people just can't cope. You know, and they see that as their only way out. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's it just brings to the forefront of our whole society, though. Like, even the quotes, like, even the fucking people on fucking Twitter and tweeting about it and shit like that. You know, she did smack somebody about, allegedly, with a fucking lamp. Somebody got a nasty fucking burn mark off of a 40-watt bulb on the fucking head. I don't know. Nobody really knows what happened because it didn't get a chance to go to court. But, you know, she'd be a fucking nightmare walking around IKEA with. You wouldn't get out there alive. However, you know, there's people posting, like, you know, Piers Morgan posted shit about it, like she was, and then he gets a hammer in saying he's a hypocrite, which to a certain degree he is. And then somebody put, I saw somebody, I won't quote their name, put, like, don't let it hide the fact she abused someone. If this was a man, my God, it would be different. I have no sympathy for her. Which, fucking cold. It is cold. But then you've got the people under him who are obviously trying to promote the fact that they're, like, sympathetic towards her death, but then they start hounding this guy. Is that any different? The amount of comments under that guy's statement of him hounding. The irony of, like, some of these comments under here is just fucking mind-boggling. Just, you know, she killed herself. Are you happy now? You ought to kill yourself. And it's people like you who killed her. You know, like, those comments, they're doing exactly what the fucking papers do. If that geezer has tweeted that, which he has done, which you could see as a mistake, they're just doing the same thing that the paper's done. He's made a mistake, and now they're vilifying and fucking, you know, looking for his blood, sharing it, and they're meant to be the good guys. These are meant to be the people who got sympathy for Caroline Flack's suicide, and now they're hounding somebody else who, yeah, it's a fucking brutal, fucking heartless statement. But any more heartless than wrapping a fucking lamp round somebody's head? I don't know, man. But that's the society we live in these days, isn't it? That's what happens. People can't see the hypocrisy of what they're doing. You know, if you need to make, one of the comments was, do you really need to make a comment on everything? Well, do you as well? Saying that comment underneath, you know. But that's what people do now, isn't it? There's no black or white. There's only black or white. There's no grey area whatsoever. There's no, you know, I don't think wrapping, you know, she lost a job. That's one of the things. Maybe she should have been suspended and not fucking lost a job. Maybe somebody should have talked to her a little bit, been a bit more fucking supportive rather than just cancelling her. But it's those people who are offering sympathy now who are the same people saying, who are part of the cancel culture. Fucking hell. I don't know, man. It's just this. Sometimes it just gets too much, man, doesn't it? Sometimes it just gets too much a little bit, doesn't it? You look at things like that and you see there's brilliant things. And I know people are trying to set up the fucking, the petitions to stop the press from doing that. There needs to be a certain amount of freedom of the press, but we, as a society, dictate what sort of press they report on. We've got to take a certain amount of responsibility. If you buy a fucking red top newspaper for the tittle-tattle on the front fucking pages and for those fucking rumours and everything, that's where you hit them. They're a fucking business. You stop buying the fucking newspapers until they start printing less of that shit. I don't know, man. I've gone on quite a lot about suicide. It's a suicide episode, people. This is it. I'm just tying the fucking knot now, man. Anyway, what are we on? 25 minutes, and have I made a point there? I don't know. Everybody's saying be nice to each other. That's not gonna happen, people. Is it? I don't know. Don't know. It's divided into two camps and everybody going on about mental illness. Is that mental illness? I don't know. Is that just not being able to cope? What's the line there? I don't know. You've got the good mental illness and the bad mental illness, haven't you? That's what you've got. The good mental illness is one where you've got anxiety and shit like that, and the bad mental illness is where you go around killing people. I don't know. Which one is in between that? I've experienced that, by the way. Just to throw another little lifetime anecdote on this. I've experienced being fucking hit. It's not fucking nice. It's not great. Somebody who I was dating, well, just sort of dating, threw a fucking phone at my head, which is the worst thing. Like, not a mobile phone, by the way. This was an in-the-wall phone, like, with a fucking handset connected with a cord, which is the worst, because you get hit twice by it. You get hit by the fucking main body of the phone that is thrown at you, and then the lighter handset that is connected by a cord will whack you in another place. You know what I did? I got up and fucking left. That's what I did. I don't know, man. But yeah, it happens, doesn't it? And then you choose whether you stay with that person or not. Apparently, her boyfriend was hanging around staying with her, but he couldn't see her because of the fucking court case. It seemed a little bit like, I spoke to somebody earlier, that they were making an example of her, but it'd be no different, really. And it doesn't mean, it's not really a gender thing, like male or female. She fucking attacks somebody with a fucking lamp, apparently. You're going to go in court for that. Surely. If it's been reported to the police, they've got a duty of care to people. I don't know, people. Anyway, that's my 2 penneth on it. Just don't buy the red top newspapers. Liverpool did it, didn't they? Liverpool should be held up in high esteem. Fucking people, you know, the Sun newspaper, Kelvin Mackenzie, who was at a comedy night, who was editor of that, printed those stories about Liverpool fans in Hillsborough robbing the fucking dead bodies and said, this is the truth of what happened. And Liverpool just, the whole city of Liverpool just went, fuck you, we're not buying the Sun anymore, and they don't buy the Sun newspaper anymore. I don't think it's sold in Liverpool anymore. Just do that, people. If you don't like what they're fucking selling, don't fucking buy it. They'll soon fucking change the fucking way they start reporting the news. And all these fucking little, backhanded fucking little, tittle-tattle stories that they fucking do, they'll be gone. You just need to stand together, people. But that's not going to happen. This'll all fizzle out, won't it, until the next one? This is just history repeating itself, and things like Michael Hutchence and people like that, Paula Yates, fucking Princess Diana. Not that she topped herself, but, I don't know, people. I don't know. This is what happens. This is where censorship and cancel culture ends up. Right here. And now we have to find some way to try and deal with this shit and get out of it. And everybody's like being nice about it and saying she was great and stuff, and that's a lovely thing for her family and that. But still, I don't know. That, in the words of Forrest Gump, and that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, let's fucking move on to some little news bits that are probably going to be horrendous. I ain't going to lie to you. Mystery, but here we are in the news. We're not going to do any adverts today. I can't be fucked with it. I'll do it Tuesday. I'll do it Tuesday. Mystery black substance running down walls turns out to be blood from upstairs. This is the worst thing. This is my greatest fear of living in a ground floor flat, having one person above me, is that they die and then suddenly shit starts leaking through. 2 men were horrified when a dark substance with a horrible smell started dripping down their wall. Was actually the blood of an upstairs neighbour who died more than a week before. Oh, fucking hell. Somebody actually tweeted the fucking pictures of it. Sorry about that. A guy and his flatmate called a maintenance team to investigate who discovered the decomposing body of their neighbour. Authorities said the black tar-like liquid was bodily fluids. Oh, man. You don't need that fucking dripping on your head when you're watching TV, do you? Netflix and fucking blood. He and flatmate Evan Schultz told their Twitter followers about the grim discovery. That's what you do. You break the news to Twitter. This is what I'm on about. Why would you post that on fucking Twitter? Fucking, that's somebody's fucking bodily fluids. Oh, man. Made the papers, though. Made the papers. All I really know of the situation is the man upstairs died in his sleep. His body decomposed and somehow managed to seep into our apartment. We've had leaking in our bathroom, so when we saw this, we called maintenance immediately. Yeah, it looks like fucking blood. Jesus. AJ said that at first maintenance workers had no idea what the substance leaking down the walls was. He said he wiped it off a little on the wall to examine it. Oh, man, it's fucking... that is rank. That is. Jesus. Let's have a look at the next story. That is the worst thing. You got your fucking... It's bad enough being in a ground floor flat with people bumping around upstairs, let alone leaking through the ceiling. Come on, buddy, keep it down up there. Trying to fucking wash my walls down and you keep leaking through to it. Does that count as breaking and entering? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. A post-life breaking and entering. I'm not sure at all. 32 minutes we're on, people. We have talked a lot about suicide today. Genuinely, if you're feeling lonely, I'm meant to do one of these announcements, aren't I? That's what everybody does. This is how the newspapers get out of it, isn't it? This is what they've done. This is what they'll do. They'll just build people up now. And say that she was a fucking great person, and they'll have loads of people giving tributes at her, and they're the ones with fucking blood on their hands, as we are within our culture, and our thirst for that sort of thing. God knows if you did what had happened. You get those same people. If you did a joke about Caroline Flack's death, if you did a joke about that. Those people offering sympathy and starting the fucking petitions would be the first in line to fucking lynch you. They would be the first in line. Nobody is fucking perfect. Everybody makes fucking mistakes. Sometimes people get a podcast fucking a little bit late, yeah? Sometimes. Yeah? Don't hold that against them. This is episode 82. That was, should I say, episode 82. Bit of a dark episode, people. But we got some opinions out there, didn't we? We got some opinions out there in the end. That was episode 82. If you like this, you can subscribe to this. I'm going to start videoing it very soon as well. So that's going to be up on YouTube. So you can see my fucking faces I make as I'm spouting bullshit over the airwaves. If you've got any questions or anything like that, you can email me at podcast@benbriggs.co.uk. And is that right? Podcast@benbriggs.co.uk. I think it is. So you can do that. I will be back on Tuesday, motherfuckers. Take care until then. Don't kill yourselves, and if you are thinking about killing yourselves, probably best to talk to somebody with regards to that. Right, I'll be back. What a way to end the podcast. If you're thinking about killing yourself after listening to this podcast, don't do it because I need the listenership. I'll be back Tuesday, motherfuckers. Take it easy. Take care.